I'm happy to welcome all of you to the Africa Roundtable event on the 2030 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. I'm particularly grateful for the presence of the much respected President of the Republic of Rwanda, His Excellency Paul Kagame, the newly elected Chairperson of the African Union Commission, His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, my fellow SDG advocates, the world-acclaimed economist, Professor Jeffrey Sachs, the Liberian Nobel laureate, Ms. Leigh Magbowe, and the eloquent Libyan voice of women, Ms. Ala Murabit, and all others from near and far who have come to join us today to participate in this event. Akwaba, as you've already heard, is our word of welcome, and I hope you enjoyed the famed Ghanaian hospitality during your brief stay with us. I also welcome the video message from the co-chair of the advocate groups of eminent persons of the SDGs, the Norwegian Prime Minister, Madam Erna Solberg, which should help bolster the prospects of success of this event. The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, and the government of Norway, who have partnered with us for this event, are to be commended. The SDGs are a common cause for a common goal, and I'm glad that we are forging a strong partnership around their implementation. This roundtable is taking place at another time of great hope and great expectations for our African continent. Democracy continues to gain deep roots. Some of our economies continue to register robust and sustained growth. Our continent continues to be blessed with a dynamic and youthful population, some of whom are well anchored in technology and innovation. And whether in the arts, sports, academia, business, or international relations, Africa is regaining her self-confidence on the international stage. Across the globe, there's an increasing interest in the phenomenal economic potential that exists on the continent. But it is not all a good news story, and herein lies the paradox. There are justifiably pressing demands to address widespread unemployment, especially amongst the youth, to enhance livelihood incomes and opportunities, to intensify and deepen social service delivery, and to deal with the sense of hopelessness in the future that compels large numbers of Africa's youth to travel across the Sahara Desert and traverse perilous oceans in search of what in most cases proves to be an elusive better life in the developed world. As we endeavor to address these challenges and the huge expectations that citizens have, we have great prospects in using the SDGs to open up opportunities for all citizens and do so in ways that leave no one behind. As co-chair of the UN Secretary General's eminent group of advocates, I have a high responsibility, together with my colleagues, to promote the engagement of new stakeholders in the implementation and financing of the SDGs, and to encourage partnerships with government, civil society, and the private sector to drive accelerated implementation of the SDGs. This is the spirit that has shaped this Africa Roundtable, and I strongly hope that this spirit will become enduring. We have an exceptional opportunity going forward in translating the extraordinary goals enshrined in the SDGs to end poverty, protect the planet, and secure prosperity. There are many reasons that make me optimistic about the future, but perhaps the single most important one is that increasingly, Agenda 2030 is no longer seen as someone else's agenda. The extraordinary efforts and actions required to achieve the SDGs are beginning to coalesce in the partnerships that we're building across national governments, civil society, and the private sector. Importantly, as co-chair of the UN Secretary General's eminent group of advocates, I've taken a strategic decision to prioritize championing accelerated implementation of the goals in Africa. I'm compelled to do this because, sadly, the deficit in human development is highest on our continent. If we are to succeed in our noble ambition to transform our continent and pull masses of our people out of poverty and deprivation, Africa must pursue implementation of the SDGs with a strong sense of urgency and an unparalleled commitment to act now. We do not have the luxury of time when it comes to the pressing challenges of poverty, climate change, youth unemployment, and the myriad of issues that confront the continent. The challenge in achieving the SDGs is indeed significant, but I have ample cause for optimism. Africa has the knowledge, the talent, and the resources to transition from poverty to prosperity. But for this to happen, it takes a different kind of leadership, one that is selfless and empowering. It will take smart and progressive policies that are enablers to growth and transformation. It will take innovative approaches to financing our development. It will take smart strategic partnerships. It will take fully unleashing the potential of the domestic private sector. It will take fully leveraging innovation and making it the currency of our development. And most importantly, it will take empowerment of Africa's women. I'm delighted to see that these enablers necessary to achieving the SDGs are the core issues that will be addressed and discussed over the next 2 days. And as we discuss these issues, we must see the SDGs truly as investment in our people to build a better life. For no group of persons has more to gain from the successful implementation of the SDGs than the African peoples. As we jointly embark on the implementation of the SDGs, I would like to leave you with 5 key messages. First, to achieve the SDGs will take bold ambition in thought and actions, creativity, innovation, hard work, and most critically, connecting to the positive and abundant energies of the youth. Second, the story of Africa's hitherto inability to develop is primarily the story of bad governance and our damaging colonial heritage. We must make governance and our governance systems work for the eradication of poverty and the creation of prosperity and wealth. And as we embark on this path, we must commit to building accountable and transparent institutions. Third, we cannot grow out of poverty and achieve the SDGs through charity and the benevolence of others. If we are going to succeed to move Africa beyond aid, this cannot be a mere slogan. It will take doing business differently and making the tough choices necessary to accelerate inclusive growth in the economy. Fourth, there's no doubt in my mind that a key accelerator to achieving the goals is a strong and vibrant private sector, which has the space to grow and flourish. We must and should do everything in our power to dismantle the labyrinth of constraints that impede the private sector and regional trade and integration. Fifth, for our continent to achieve the SDGs and capture totally our grandeur, we must succeed in fully unleashing the potential of Africa's women. This is an absolute priority. For me, as it should be, for one privileged to be labeled the Africa Union Gender Champion. No matter what the challenges may be, we must use the SDGs to propel Africa beyond aid. We must use the SDGs ultimately to change the narrative on Africa. And we can. I absolutely believe this. The road ahead may be long, with bumps along the way, but if we have a winning mentality and commit to doing business differently, we can achieve our shared prosperity and bring greater dignity to the lives of millions and millions of people in this our common home which we call Africa. I thank you, and may God bless us all and Mother Africa.